Hey guys, here's our gear today. Ben Franklin from Stirling using the Wizamet Super Iridium like we did yesterday. We're going to put the Wizamet in this Rocnel mild razor, the M, Rocnel Elite M. We used it once before. It did pretty well with the Vashkod, one of the few razors that did give me an enjoyable shave with the Vashkod. Then we have the C5 Torga from Semogue, a boar brush, a little short and scrubby guy. We're going to put another use on him. He's been in the water for several minutes. We'll put him back in there. All right, so I'm going to get my face wet, and I'm also going to take my quarter teaspoon measure and get out a piece of Stirling with that. All right, here is the razor all disassembled. Here's the Wizamet. Looks like the Rocnel, and it should because it's an expensive razor. I got mine used. I would not pay full retail for this. Perfect alignment every time, looks like. I finally had to break down in a recent order with Stirling. They had this great deal on their bath soaps, and I broke down and ordered a sample of the Ben Franklin. It's a scent that people kind of talk about a little bit. On their site, they even have a little tongue-in-cheek write-up about how it smells like, and they named it Ben Franklin because they say that it smells like an old man's pantaloons at the end of a long, sweaty day crafting documents. And it's because the scents are frankincense, clove, nutmeg, and benzoin. Essential oils, and so this actually may be an essential oil only soap. And then I continued reading on Stirling's page, and it talked about how they actually get, for the past 5 years, about 3 to 5 emails a week asking, why would you create a soap that smells like old man pants? But it's just a tongue-in-cheek thing. Now, on their website, they call it an instant favorite. I don't like clove very much, but I just had to try this guy out. So let's just see. I've got a quarter teaspoon right here. I'm going to smush it into the bottom of the lather bowl. All right, we're ready to start working on the lather. Shake out a lot of the water from the brush. Smushed it. As usual, I'll tell you that I like to shake out water from my brush, and that way I can kind of calculate water a little bit better with my usage, so I can predict it better for next time. But if you want to do a little shortcut, you can come at the lather with a little bit more water, maybe not shake off as much, whatever you want to do. Try not shaking off any, see if that's too much water. That could help you get to a good lather quicker. So immediately, I am having some scent notes come up, and it's not giving me a problem at all. I'm not a clove guy, but it looks like some of these other notes, I can smell the frankincense. Some of these other notes are really helping the clove not to kind of trip me. Okay, it looks pretty unified so far. So we can start adding water. I believe the water is might be pretty soft at this location. I'm not seeing a lot of, build up on shower heads and things like that, while it's in a firm state, I spend a lot of time pushing it down from the side of the walls, because once you mix in the middle, it all kind of goes up on the sides. Seems to be a more efficient action that way. Once it gets, at least with many good soaps, once it gets to the proper consistency, it will come down off the walls, won't be up there anymore. This guy is still a pretty young bore brush. He's already comfortable, but you do feel the core of the brush a little bit in terms of density, in terms of a little bit of pressure there. Really interested to see how this guy turns out once he gets a bunch of split tips. And that's 3 teaspoons of water. Often that's what I need for my Stirling. I did not even do a rounded 1/4 teaspoon today. I did a pretty flat one. May have actually had a little bit less, because yesterday's shave reminded me just how efficient Stirling is in terms of soap economy. I ended up with more lather than I needed, and today kind of looks like a repeat of that. Just go ahead and put 4 teaspoons in, and we'll stop at that. You know, it's really, it might just be an enjoyable scent. I could see how it might be divisive, but really it's kind of interesting. I could see how people wouldn't like it. You know, it's definitely in that spicy genre with frankincense and nutmeg. I imagine the benzoin is a strong part of this scent, but I'm not exactly sure on the nature of the benzoin scent. I don't really know what it smells like. All right, I think that'll do. Let's show you. Nice and elastic lather. That's what I'm talking about right there. All right, I'm gonna rinse my face. I already did that before I started working on the lather to soften up my whiskers. So now I'm going to do it again before we apply the lather. This is a short, little stubby brush. Handle, not very long, but you see that saddle right there, right where my fingers are? I call it a saddle. I don't know what the term is. Valley, narrow part. That does a pretty good job of keeping me gripped pretty well to the brush. It's not a real big chore, even though, as you can see, it's very slippery. And it's a resin handle, so the surface is actually very slippery. But that shape just helps you to keep a hold of it pretty nicely. The tips are comfortable, but right now it is definitely a kind of a massaging action, a short and scrubby type brush, but it's not scratchy like or prickly at all like some Omegas. And as you can see, this actually needs a little bit more water. Make it just a little more creamy. Sometimes you can add water to the outside of the brush like that. If you do it in small quantities, it's not too bad. If you need to do it more than just a few drops, it's usually better to make a round pattern on your face so that you get a little valley there to put some in. Of course, you may like to add your drops just by your fingertips, you know, dip them in the water, in the sink water, whichever way. All right, that looks pretty good. Went ahead and added some more water to my lather in the bowl there. All right, let's see how the Rocnel does with the Wizamet. A little bit of audio there. It doesn't have very good blade support from the bottom of the razor, from the bottom of the blade edge there. It does not come close to the edge of the blade, and so it's mainly one of those that flexes the blade with the top cap and then flexes it around a center area on the bottom. Pretty common technique, but I usually find, as you can hear, it's just got more audio, and audio means vibration. And so I think that depending on the razor, it can sometimes give you a little bit more irritation. But this one, I don't think so. I think it's got a pretty good, it's mild enough to where I don't think it's working me that hard. I'm going to evaluate it still and just play around with different blades and see how I like it. Pretty comfortable on this first pass. All right, let's put down a second one now. Since I did add water to my bowl here, let me blend that in. Tons of lather. You know, I don't really mind this scent at all. So it's not very clove forward. I can smell it in there, but the other pieces really make it agreeable. They make it work. Definitely, to me, seems more like a non-summer, a non-spring scent. Great for the fall, winter, and holidays. I could see where they get their comparison to an old man in pants, but it's not in a bad way. I've been getting smooth shaves with this razor so far. I mean, the first one was the other day, and then now this one's going very well, very comfortable. But it seems to be pretty efficient too. So it's not mild because it's not cutting you well. I do like the handle a lot, nice and thick. Got some weight to it. The knurling is nice, good visual, aesthetic as well. So we're looking at 5 teaspoons of water with this lather, and it is terrific. The rinse I just had now was just luxurious, slick, felt great. So I'm curious about this brush, and the reason is because it's more firm, it's got more backbone than many of the Semogue brushes do. So he's likely to behave differently in the future than many of them do. A lot of them are super comfy now when they're kind of young, but once they get a bunch of tips split, they're blooming really big, and some of them, a few of them do. Could they be more floppy than I might want? So this guy might be a fun guy to bring along with everybody else and see if they change too much to some degree, because this guy starts out so stiff with so much backbone. Maybe he won't go that direction. So it'll be fun to watch happen. I picked for the post shave today deep conditioning, deep comforting, Nivea Men Deep. And it's a good one that I've enjoyed, and it seems to have some vanilla or something like that in it, so I thought it would go pretty well with this soap. So we'll do cross grain again, and the second pass was very comfortable, so I don't think this guy is going to be any different. And I have been getting with the Vashkod blade, I got a nice close shave, so I would imagine I'm going to get the same today. Very comfortable. And there we go. Stirling. Wow, it just works so well. Very happy with that. Now let's kind of rinse off. Yeah, I got a nice close shave. A lot of the tips there are just tip only, where I don't really see any length. There's a length in a few, but that's a really good result. During the water rinses, I did feel maybe a little bit of sensitivity, where maybe it felt a little scrapey, something like that, but really not bad at all, and I don't even feel it now. In terms of lather economy, it looks like I could reduce that from a little bit less than a teaspoon of Stirling, and I still have 3 or 4 passes right here. Wonderful lather. So I can keep backing off on that amount if I want to. The scent is very available during the shave. It's definitely there, so I'd say 5 out of 10. I can see also why on the website they say an instant favorite, because if this is at all near your cup of tea, there's not too many other scents out there like this one. I haven't seen him get a whole lot of airtime, but I kind of think people need to really get a sample of this during the holidays. There are some scents that have come out in the past couple of holidays with these types of notes in it that I haven't liked nearly as much. I enjoy this guy. So the blade did well. The razor worked well, comfortable. The scrapiness maybe giving me just that tiny bit of irritation. More so than my usual razors that have better blade support from the bottom, close to the edge. But not bad. Let's go ahead and splash on some of this post-shave. and I got just a tiny bit of stinging, and so that's not bad at all, actually. Yeah, I think it goes actually very nicely with the Ben Franklin. I think it transitions, matches, doesn't clash very well. Awesome. Hey, there we go. Well, I'm going to rinse out all that awesome lather. The Wizamet did well in the Rocnel. Unlike the Vashkod, for me, the Wizamet has done well in most of the razors that I've put it in. So we'll keep going, put it in a few more. So here we go. You can see he is. Some of those bristles are definitely going to join these outliers as it opens up and blooms more. And we don't have a lot of split tips here. And that's sometimes a trait with Semogue. And so some people will say that it takes Semogues a long time to break in. And while that could be true, when you're referring to splitting of tips, I think it's a little distracting and a misnomer for some people who think, oh, that means Semogues take a while to be comfortable. And that's not true at all. With this guy, I think I soaked him in the first several uses. I soaked him for maybe an hour or something like that before each shave. And in 3 uses, he was comfortable. In maybe 5 uses, he was not eating lather. 4 or 5 uses, he was able to be used normally in terms of working up a lather, and then just being able to use it well without having to go back to the soap tub for more soap. That is typical for young, really young boars. But comfortable, yes. And now, this is a wonderful thing about Semogues. They get comfy pretty quick, and now as you wait for the tips to split, it goes from comfortable to just better with each shave in tiny ways. It just gets gooder and gooder. All right, I think we're all clean. That deep comforting is a great sign off for the Ben Franklin. It really is. That vanilla just kind of, it's almost like a dessert, where the Ben Franklin is the meal, and you may not necessarily want to smell that clove and benzoin and the frankincense all the time, but it's like the, I'm assuming there's some vanilla, or there's something like vanilla in this Nivea Deep. It kind of ties them all together in a nice sweet package. I like it a lot. That's a really good combo. All right, well, I think that's it, guys. Comfortable shave. Looks pretty efficient. Very happy with the results there. The Wizamet, good blade. The Rocnel seems to work with it rock well. Ha! Like the brush, it's not quite as comfy yet as some of the other Semogues, but like I said, after 100, 200 uses, I may like it a little bit better, and that's what we're thinking about as this guy goes on. And I believe that's it. I'm happy with the Ben Franklin. I think it's neat. I think it's just it would be an amazing sample pup to buy around the Christmas season, folks. The holidays definitely would match in with that. All right, guys, you take care. This is Sugar Daddy Shaves. I'm glad I'm shaving at night today, because by the end of a morning shave, and when the sun has hit, because the air conditioner is busted at this location, I am usually sweating, and I'm not quite sweating here at night. So this is obviously the way to go. You guys take care. Have a good day.